Hey guys, here I am at my mother's beautiful little herb garden that my father planted, God rest his soul. And first off, isn't it beautiful? Aren't these herbs just magnificent? There's rosemary, there's chives, there's lavender, there's chili, there's basil. But here, this is the one that I want to speak to you about today. I wonder whether I won't pull out some of the roots for you. You're just going to have to trust me on this. But what I'm looking at here today is, let me grab a seat with you, is tarragon. Tarragon. Now, before the herbalists amongst you tune out and think, tarragon, that's just a cooking herb, they would be wrong, sweet friends. Tarragon is not just anything. Tarragon, Artemisia dracunculus, the little dragon, tarragon dragon, estragon, the French called it. Also, the little dragon is its common name, or Dragon Wort is another name for it. Dragon sagewort, dragon wormwood, Dragon Wort, yeah, all of these names, right? Artemisia dracunculus, right? And so that should, because nomen est omen, names are omens, as the Romans taught, that should get us to pause. Why would this humble little herb that's used in sauces in French cooking, and maybe in a pinch, if you can't find anything else, perhaps for indigestion, why would it get such a haloed and sacred name as dracunculus? Well, the reasons are steeped in myth and mystery, as all things are. But the way it's told these days by people that are looking for neat explanations is that it's because its roots have a serpentine structure to them, and its leaves look like the tongue of a serpent or a dragon, right? But that's just a little bit of it, because if you chew it up, sooner or later, it'll bite you on the tongue. You can taste its hot, piercing quality, right? The fire that's hidden within, the fire in the belly of the dragon, right? And what you're tasting here, if I continue the law, is, that's the bird nations just chiming in, serpent herb. What you're tasting is the Ouroboros. What you're tasting is the cosmic serpent, the cosmic dragon that bites its own tail, right? Why do I say this? It's because it's a phenolic herb, right? Phenols like in clove, phenols like in thyme, hot and dry in the 3rd degree, hot, incredibly polarizing, heating, antimicrobial compounds are phenols, right? And for a long time, chemists couldn't figure out how such compounds worked, right? And how to map them. And so they were always mapping everything, like little sticks and branches, right? Just like this goes with this, goes with this, goes with this. And they couldn't figure out how do things bond that have phenols in them until a researcher in the 19th century, a scientist, like so many scientists before and since, entered a non-ordinary state of consciousness and had a vision sent by Artemis herself, the goddess of wild places and wild things and wild herbs, hence Artemisia dracunculus. And the researcher, whose name eludes me, Auguste Kekule, in the 1860s, right? He had a vision of the Ouroboros, the serpent or dragon biting its tail. And he was seeing the atoms in the chemistry of a benzene ring, of the first phenolic structure studied, and saw them just moving around like little snakes first, like the sticks on chemical structures. And then one of these serpents turned around and bit its own tail. And he had one of those eureka moments, right? These eureka moments in the way in which so many scientific discoveries have happened, not through logic, not through research, but through flashes of insight, through Zeus's thunderbolt thrown upon them, through a muse whispering inside their ears. "It's a dragon! It's a dragon!" said the muse. And since that day, we've understood that so many things like serotonin and tryptophan and so many of our psychedelic drugs, right? Look at the structure of so many of our addictive substances and you'll see the benzene ring in it, the dragon biting its tail, right? This is a plant invention that is just remarkable when everything else goes together like this. This structure is fundamental to consciousness itself. It's there in tryptophan that the plants developed. And then based on tryptophan, then not just serotonin, but all these plant compounds of consciousness are held together so that molecules can stick off it in all these diverse ways, so that consciousness can evolve and get more complex, right? And at the heart of that is a magical dragon, the phenolic dragon, the dragon of the benzene ring. And that dragon is what you taste when you chew up a little bit of tarragon, right? You're tasting the cosmic Ouroboros, right? And that dragon is responsible for its protective qualities, its magical qualities, its capacity to ward off incredible infections, right? Yes, tea tree is incredible, but as the French aromatherapists teach, is that the phenolic essential oils, the plants that are high in phenols, right? Like clove, we know how powerful clove is, and thyme, you know how powerful thyme is, and basil, tarragon is one of them, and its capacity to chase out lesser dragons, bacterial dragons, viral dragons, parasitic dragons, right? And tarragon itself can also inhibit the language that bacteria use when they're swarming, when they're in this swarm consciousness and they're communicating and communing in the language of quorum sensing. And it interferes with quorum sensing as well as dissolving biofilms and all of these things. Why? Because it's a dragon and dragons are magical. And so this makes it the leading example of a series of herbs called Dragon Worts, which we have forgotten, right? And I've spoken to you previously about categories like antler medicines, which we've also forgotten, right? In different countries, you'll have badger medicines, you know, all sorts of different categories that herbs come into. And this one is a dragon wort. And dragon worts are so described because there's probably a doctrine of signatures somewhere in the plant. If you look closely enough, there'll be something that resembles the serpentine structure of a dragon. But that's not enough because there's a lot of herbs that have that. It should also be a herb that is able, because of its dragon and serpentine affinity, is able to master dragons, like bacterial dragons, and serpents. And so it has an anti-venom quality to it as well, right? So it's used as an anti-venom, right? And there is some modern research on this as well, confirming. And so it was arrived at through folk experience and through the insight and wisdom of the plant realms and the spirit realms and the muses that shared the information with humanity way, way back. But science has confirmed, indeed, it does have some anti-venom properties as well. It's been looked at against one of, like a bushmaster snake or something like this. So dragon worts have often a fiery nature to them. Not all of them, but several of them have phenolic compounds in them, and that's that dragon fiery taste that you could have. And they were, as well as being used for all of the things that they're used for, they were also used as amulet herbs to carry with you. And if you would carry a bit of dracunculus or a bit of dracunculus root, right, wear it as an amulet, wear it around your neck, wear it upon your body, tuck a little bit into your shoe, then you would be protected. Apotropaic herbs, disaster-avoiding herbs, or evil-averting herbs, like the protective hand of Hamza. And so it is this magical herb, and it will protect you against the dragons of infectious illness, right? And a range of other microbial dragons, right? It'll chase them out with its own dragon magic, but it will also awaken the dragon of the innate heat. The dragon of the innate heat within you, right? It'll awaken the dragon within. It'll awaken the dragon-like hearth fire inside every single cell. It will quicken those little dragons of the mitochondria, and therefore the heat and the energy transport, the electron transport, that fiery molecules of dragon fire that are responsible for all of our energy. It will quicken all of these processes. It's a heating, warming, stimulating herb. Outside of its protective antimicrobial qualities, it will also quicken the vital force. And in Greek medicine, this is the innate heat, the yang fires of the body, right? Most famously, it's used to quicken the digestive fire, right? And so it'll stir up Agni. It will ignite Agni, as they would say in Ayurveda, right? Or ignis, as they would say in Latin, right? The innate heat, the primordial fire. And so this wonderful dragon wort, right? This wonderful dragon wort, which is now relegated just to French cooking and ignored by herbalists all across the Western world, let me say. It is undervalued. It is my intent today to inspire all of you that are listening to recognize the magic inside this incredible herb, to recognize the dragon fire inside this incredible herb, and to use it, right? To use it as a tool of Artemis, right? It is like Artemisia vulgar and Artemisia annua and all of the Artemisias, right? It is related to the magic of mugwort, right? It is related to the magic of wormwood, right? These are powerful herbs. This is the forgotten sister inside the Artemisian herbs, right? The little dragon, Dracunculus. Grow some, use some, wear some.